Greetings, I'm Jonathan Spear. I've got a lot of multi-blocks to build, and welcome to Age of Engineering Supershorts. I'm kind of working on the scaffolding idea, but I'll finish this later. I replaced the insulation with large pipes. Anyway, to get started with Advanced Rocketry, we have to, I don't know actually. Thankfully, this guide comes to the rescue. And the holo projector, which requires optical sensors. Look at all of these machines. I'll need a couple of liquid-fueled engines, several liquid fuel tanks, a seat, concrete, launch pads, 16 structure towers. The rocket assembling machine will take a bit longer because I don't have the titanium, but in order to get the titanium gears, we need a metal press. Here's a metal press. You just need to right-click on the piston with an engineer's hammer when the piston is facing down. Let's make a metal press mold gear, and right-click on the metal press to put it on. Advanced Rocketry requires a special kind of silicon made in an electric arc furnace. It takes forever. Thankfully, I have a solution. You can make silicon dust in a Tech Reborn grinder with silicon. One grinder. Luckily for us, it does take 512 EU per tick. Turns out you can't extract directly from a grinder with Ender-IO conduits, but hoppers on the bottom work. Thus, this little phantom face setup. Silicon to silicon dust. This was slightly more involved than I expected it to be. Silicon dust turns into silicon ingots in a regular furnace. With that, we just crossed out an entire machine that we don't need and would clash with our advanced rocketry base. Control circuit boards require a fourth type of circuit board, the enhanced circuit board. I do not want to add on to my cartridge system. Thankfully, there's another recipe for the control circuit board. It's more involved, but it does not need an enhanced circuit board. So, in order to bypass this progression step, I'll just make a few enhanced circuit boards by hand, make the required machines, and stop worrying. 4 control circuit boards, 4 item I/O circuit boards, 4 user interfaces, 34 machine structures. Be sure to stock up on Chrome. This process takes a while. I just made about 50 extra machine structures because why not? I'll need them a ton. I'm making steel gears right now, 1 precision assembler, a liquid I/O circuit board, a rolling machine, a cutting machine, and a crystallizer. 48 LV wire coils, 6 copper coil blocks, 48 coils, 4 input hatches, 5 output hatches, a fluid input hatch, 16 small batteries, 4 power input plugs, 6 copper coils, more copper coils, 4 motors, a saw blade assembly, 6 quartz crucibles, and lots of machine structures. Now to start working, you can right-click with a holo projector to set up the projection of a multi-block. I'll put my output and input hatch here. Because of the way these are cycling, it doesn't matter where you put them. And I'll just stick my power input hatch here. Layer 1. You can shift scroll to move the cross-section up. Hovering over one of these blocks shows you the name. Layer 2. Layer 3. Now we can right-click on the precision assembler to make the multi-block. I'll position my cutting machine like that. Layer only. Conveniently, the input and output hatches are still labeled. Rolling machine, layer 1. Layer 2. The rolling machine has 2 input and output hatches, for some reason. Layer 1. If you right-click on a machine when it's incomplete, you will see a red X. Layer 2. That's all the machines we need for right now. Automation for all of these will be fairly straightforward with just interfaces and item conduits. Though this fluid input hatch says H2O on it, so I'm going to assume that I need to put water in it. To activate the rolling machine, press this button. Silicon ingots in a rolling machine make silicon plates. Silicon ingots and nuggets in a crystallizer make silicon boules, which in a cutting machine, the cutting machine will hurt you. Silicon boules make 4 silicon wafers, which, with gold and redstone in a precision assembler, after an excruciatingly long time, make basic circuit plates, which in a cutting machine make basic circuits, which with silicon plates, redstone, and copper plates, make, at last, control circuit boards. 1 rocket assembling machine. Tracking circuits. The cutting machine does not cut you when it's not working. An electrolyzer. Chemical reactor. Chemical reactor layer 1. Chemical reactor layer 2. Electrolyzer layer 1. Electrolyzer layer 2. With both of these machines hooked up to power, we'll get lots of rocket fuel in short order. Unfortunately, it is very loud and very slow. Behold, my launch pad. 1 guidance computer. I'll make this rocket nice and simple. After all, we only need the guidance computer, liquid fuel engines, liquid fuel tanks, and seats. 1 planet ID chip, which I'll put in the guidance computer. I had to make some adjustments to the launch pad. The rocket assembling machine goes here on top of the launch pad, and the only relevant structure towers must be placed touching the side of the launch pad, not on it, going as high as the rocket. Now, we can just press scan. Be careful when you scan the rocket because this might happen. Luckily, it can be fixed by teleporting away and coming back again. Just to be sure, I made the tanks a bit taller. Now that it's scanned, I can press build. If you don't like your rocket and want to unbuild it, you can shift right click on the rocket to disassemble it, or select your destination. Remember, you need a planet ID chip inside the guidance computer in order to select a planet. If you forgot to place a planet ID chip in the guidance computer, don't worry, you can just click on your guidance computer to access the block. Look at all that rocket fuel. And that's it for today's episode. Next episode, I'll go to the moon, set up a quarry, and mine dilithium crystals so I can hopefully make a space station. However, the next episode will not be Age of Engineering. I'll admit I am a little bit burnt out. I love the pack and I'd like to finish it, so I'm just gonna take a break and alternate between packs. I want to play Modern Skyblock 2 or 3. However, I'm not sure which to pick. Modern Skyblock 2 has a lot of expert aspects which I really like, but Modern Skyblock 3 still has a gated aspect and it is more modern. Which would you like to see? If nobody answers, I'll just flip a coin, but I would like to know. As always, if you have any feedback, I'd love to hear it. I hope you enjoyed!